Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about some beginner tips for Love and Deepspace players. Now, if you are brand new, as in just opened up the game and you're really overwhelmed and you're looking for some guidance, I would recommend watching the previous Love and Deepspace video that I made, which is like the ultimate beginner's guide. It walks you through the basics and what everything is. That being said, this still is a very beginner friendly guide here, obviously. So if you don't have the time to go watch that video or you feel like you understand a little bit, then I'm still going to break things down really simply to help you not make the same mistakes that I made when I first started out. Let's just jump right in. The first thing is probably something that you will hear from anybody who's giving beginner tips, but it's because it's so important, and that is to do your dailies every single day. Doing your dailies is pretty much the only consistent way to get XP, which will help you level up in the game. Leveling up is really important, and you definitely want to be doing it. Number one, you will eventually get blocked progressing the main story until you've reached a certain level. You'll be able to go through the first couple chapters with no problem, but eventually you're going to get that progress blocker. So you definitely need to be doing your dailies so that you can continue progressing the main storyline. Being a certain hunter level is also a requirement for leveling up your memories. So you need to be leveling up if you want to upgrade and ascend your memories to the higher levels. Now, the good news is that once you've unlocked all the features you need, it's actually really quick to do your dailies. I usually do my dailies in like 2 to 3 minutes at most. Here's my routine. So the first thing I do is log on, that's one. Then I go in and send stamina out to my friends. Then I do one round of Mr. Beanie in the bounty hunts. And remember that you can do the auto pursuit once you've done it at least one time regularly. So that's a huge time saver. You just basically click it and you get your stuff. Then I do one auto run of Heartbreaker and I do one auto run of Core Hunt. After that, since there's a daily that requires you to use 100 stamina, I'll just go in and do auto runs of whatever it is that I'm needing the most to get me to 100 stamina. So if I'm needing more wish bottles, I'll do Heartbreaker. If I need more gold, I'll do Mr. Beanie. If you're not sure what you need, I would recommend doing Heartbreaker because wish bottles are something that you're gonna need a ton of once you start upgrading and ascending your memories. After that, I'll go into the shop and claim my free daily pack, which counts as buying something from the shop. I'll interact with my love interest at the cafe, and then I'll level up a memory one time. And once you've done all of those things, that should be enough to get you all of the possible rewards and XP that you can get for that day. Go back into the agenda, hit claim all, and you're good to go. The next tip is to progress the main storyline as quickly as possible. If you're not sure what to do when you're logging in, when you're just starting out, a good thing to do is just focus on that story, especially at the beginning. The first couple chapters of the game are going to unlock a lot of the features. When you first start out, you're not going to have access to all of the different battle modes. You're not going to have access to all of the characters, to the date activities. These things all unlock over time. So just focus on progressing the story, and whenever something unlocks, read through what it is so that you have a basic understanding of what you've unlocked. Now let's talk about what to spend your money on if you're choosing to spend money in the game. Now, this game does not require you to pay any money at all. There are different levels of people who spend. There's free-to-play players who don't spend any real-world money. There are what a lot of people call whales, which are people who spend large amounts of money, and then there's everywhere in between. So if you're wanting to spend money on the game, you probably want to know what is the biggest bang for your buck. So here's my recommendations, starting with the least amount to spend that I think is the biggest impact, and then a couple of things if you want to do a little bit of extra spending. If you only want to spend on one thing, I think the thing that I would recommend the most is the Aurum Pass. The Aurum Pass is $4.99 USD, and you will get daily rewards for 30 days. Here's all the things that you get with the Aurum Pass. Your max stamina is gonna go up 50 points, which is really nice because stamina is super important for you to be able to do things like gain more resources in the bounty hunts, etc. You'll get 300 crystals right off the bat when you purchase, and then there's some other stuff like special login pages, name card settings, and stuff like that. But I think the best thing about this is the stuff that you get daily. So every single day for that 30-day period, you get 100 diamonds and 60 stamina, which is super nice. Diamonds are probably the most important currency in the game because you use those to make wishes, and wishes is how you get new memories. In total, you'll get 3,000 diamonds and 1,800 stamina for $4.99. Now, if we do a little bit of math to see how good of a deal this actually is, 3,000 diamonds equals 20 pulls because one pull is 150 diamonds. Now, if we go into the shop and we look at the different packs that are for sale, the pack that costs $4.99 is going to give you 6 pulls. Now, granted, it does give you a couple of other things like Bottle of Wishes and Ascension mission crates. So you do get some other stuff for that as well. But that's just to kind of give you a rough estimate of if you were just trying to purchase those pulls separately, what you were gonna need to spend. The one pack that has 20 pulls in it is $27.99 USD. Again, it does come with other things like gold and energy, but if you're just thinking about the pulls, that 20 pulls is worth about $27.99 USD. So it is a really good deal. Stamina is really nice as well. So I think if you're gonna buy one thing, that would be the thing that I would get. I would say that the thing that is the next best value in the game is the Promise. The Promise is something that I would consider most like a battle pass. Basically, the way that it works is that they will focus on a character or two characters at a time. The way that you get levels on those is that each daily and weekly task is worth a certain amount of Promise marks. They also have Promise specific tasks that you can complete for a lot of Promise marks, and once you get enough Promise marks, you'll start leveling up through there. So if you're familiar with Infinity Nikki, think of this as the Mira journey. It's basically the same thing. Let's talk about what you actually get. So no matter what, and the reason, by the way, the reason why I keep looking down is because I have my phone up for reference while I'm going through this. So even if you don't pay for it at all, you can still participate in the Promise. Everything that you see on the left side where it just says Promise, you will get no matter what. For Secret Promise, you'll get double weekly gift box rewards and lots of extra material. So basically everything that you see here on the right-hand side that says Secret Promise, you will get that. Now you do also get to choose one of two limited maxed rank memories. So you'll get to choose between, there's two different memories that they will have available, and you'll get to choose one of them, and you'll actually be able to get enough to get it to max rank, which is pretty cool. I would say that Secret Promise is where major worth of this actually is. Heartfelt Vow is just if you have the extra money, because you get 20 Promise levels right off the bat, so you can get through it a little bit quickly, but it's not necessary. You will be able to finish Promise without that as long as you are logging in and doing your dailies almost every day. There are a couple of days that you can miss and still get to the end, but pretty much you want to be logging in every day. You'll also get 10 Empyrean Wishes, a special title card, and you'll get to have both of the memories. So that is really just up to you if you want those extra things, but I think Secret Promise is really where it's at in terms of worth. But either way, these things are really gonna only be worth it if you are logging in pretty much every single day. And that's the same for the Aurum Pass as well. You need to be logging in to get those rewards. Now, another thing that you could get, which is an additional extra cost, and it is a pretty high weekly cost, is the Aurum Pass packs. You have to have the Aurum Pass first. Once you have that, you can purchase these three things on the bottom here. So there's the Aurum Gift Classic and the Aurum Gift Precious, which costs $6.99 for 7 days, or you can purchase them day by day for 99 cents and 50 cents each. This will give you some pretty good stuff. It will give you diamonds, stamina, core energy to level up protocores, and ascension crystal boxes. I personally do this sometimes. I usually do it if I really need the extra stamina because I'm actively trying to level up and ascend my memories, or if I'm trying to get a lot of diamonds really quickly because I know a banner that I want is coming up. So I did purchase them this week because I've been working on ascending Caleb's memories as much as possible that I just recently got. So I did get it this week, but I don't get it every single week. So that's a huge maybe. I would say that the most worth it things are Aurum Pass, then Secret Promise, then Heartfelt Vow, and then the weekly packs, kind of way at the bottom in terms of their bang for your buck, I guess. My next tip is to complete the training rooms. You'll get access to that pretty early. And when I first started, I kind of ignored those because I'm really bad about ignoring like tutorials and stuff like that, but it's a really good idea for you to complete these. They really truly are helpful in learning how the combat works. I was on the struggle for a while with the combat and I didn't feel like I understood what I was doing. I was basically just pushing random buttons. Then I decided to just go through all the training rooms, and after that I felt like my skills improved so much and combat was so much easier for me. And they also give you diamond rewards, which is good. Speaking of diamonds and other rewards, definitely be doing the different combat modes for rewards. Bounty Hunt is going to give you rewards in the form of diamonds and then specific materials depending on who it is that you're fighting. There's also the Deepspace trials, which will give you diamonds, and then you'll get certain rewards at different levels, like different outfits and titles and things like that. Hunter Contest, Core Hunt, and Abyssal Chaos will also give you lots of really good rewards, especially diamonds, so don't sleep on those, especially if you're a free-to-play player or a low-spin player and you're looking for ways to get diamonds without spending IRL money. The next tip is primarily for my story and lore girlies, and that is to read your anecdotes. Anecdotes can be found in the date menu, and they are basically little stories that you can read through, and they are so good, y'all. They provide so much insight into the characters. They give you a lot of really juicy lore tidbits about the guys, and what I really love is that they are told for the most part from the perspective of the love interest, or at least someone who is close to the love interest and is interacting with them in some way that is not the MC. If you're interested in the lore, if you're interested in the story, I really wouldn't sleep on the anecdotes. They're so good. And last but definitely not least is use your stamina. And when you use your stamina, you'll gain it back over time, but only to the cap. If you are an Aurum Pass person, the cap is 170. If you're not, the cap is 120. So if you leave the game at 120 or more stamina, because sometimes you can get more than that in different ways, then you're not gonna be regaining that stamina. And that's kind of a loss because you could use it up and then be gaining it back. Like I said earlier, if you're not sure which materials to grind for, I would recommend as a base doing the Heartbreaker, because you're gonna need wish bottles for so much stuff. Basically what I do is I have this little routine where I log on in the morning and I do all my dailies and I use up stamina. By the next morning, it will at least mostly be regained depending on when exactly you log on. And there you go, guys. Those are just some basic beginner tips that I have for you. I really hope they were helpful. I'm also planning a video on beginner mistakes to avoid, so definitely subscribe so that you don't miss any more videos from me. You can join my Discord if you're looking for a cozy, wholesome community of gamers. We have specific channels for games like Love and Deepspace, Infinity Nikki, but then we also just talk about gaming generally speaking. It's a really awesome community. You can also check out my live streams. I go live here and on Twitch. I do Love and Deepspace occasionally when we have updates. I do Infinity Nikki and other games like that. All the links are going to be in the description below. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!